Hello, millionaires. Hello, billionaires. Welcome to Money Reality with Crystal, where we give you real investment updates. See, I have something very special to those of you out there that you are depressed, you are downcasted, you're like, oh my God, I don't know where I'm going to make the next millions from. Well, I have something that would excite you and something that you can start implementing today for you to see real results. Now, these guys, if you don't know, this is Alex Homozy right here, Daniel Presley, Cody Sanchez, and Stephen Bartlett. These four guys have all made their millions through different ways. And do you know the funny thing? When this guy, Stephen, hosted them on his show, which is the Diary of a CEO, which is what we're watching now, he gave them $1,000. He gave Alex $1,000. He gave Cody $10,000, and he gave Daniel Presley $100,000, and asked them, if you have this money right now, what are you going to do with this money? How are you going to create a business and scale it with this money? And guess what they said? Well, you know it from my mouth. Let's look at it together. So let's go over to. Please let me know if you can.
At the Louis Vuitton store, they put a security guard to keep you out.
Yeah.
And then it pushes the prices up.
Yeah.
Right.
But like they after COVID, none of them stopped doing it because they're like, oh wow, we made more sales during COVID because we had people wait in line and showed scarcity.
It's like Birkin.
Yes, this is it.
Of money. One of them contains $1,000, one of them contains $10,000, and one of them contains $100,000. You're going to pick a suitcase, and you're going to tell me what you would do with that amount of money if you were starting with that amount of money today to build a scalable business.
Fun.
So,
Do we keep the money?
He wants to buy a watch.
Yeah, I'm feeling 100,000. All right, what do we got?
Oh,
I have $1,000.
Dang, Alex.
So do I get to keep the money? Is that how this works?
yeah, you can keep it.
It smells like money. Okay, so I have $1,000. So I would take the $1,000, put it in my pocket, do nothing with it, and I would watch YouTube videos on AI integration into small businesses, and then I would go to small businesses, and once I had a specific integration that I would do, which I would probably bet would be around likely email list activation, because that's typically like fastest, easiest money that most business owners have is their contact list. So they've got.
So now I know he's speaking very fast, and you guys may be turned off, but look at this. He said that he's going to put the $1,000 in his pocket. Some of us right now, as we are watching him, we're even praying for $500. We are praying for $200. But here he's saying that the $1,000 they've given to him, he's not even going to make use of it. He said he's going to binge watch YouTube on how to integrate AI into businesses and then offer that as a service. Come up with a package, create a package, offer that as a service to business owners who don't have time to manage this side of their business. Do you understand? So he's going to watch and get a skill that he can offer as a service. Brilliant. Let's look at what Cody says.
They've been in business 10 years. They've got 8,000 customers they've sold over that whole time period, and maybe a list by you, and don't pay me anything, just pay me a percentage of the sales that we generate afterwards. How's that sound? And that offer tends to do well, and I know that because I've done it. So that's what I would do. And the $1,000, I would go buy Layla something for a little bit of time so that she can stay with me until I make the money from my email reactivation campaign.
So you see, Layla is his wife, and he's going to use $1,000 to console her. Say, please wait till he makes money. For those that have girlfriends, wife, that are about to start a new business, you've gotten the strategy.
See what I get? You got the 10K. All right, we're going around the circle here. I like it. I would find the person who would buy what I was selling for the highest dollar amount humanly possible, which means I would probably go to.
I don't know if that sinks in, because I had to watch this one twice. She said she's going to look for who will be able to buy what she was selling for the largest amount of money. Right? Meaning that she's not going to be she's not going to be struggling with people that are still surviving. She's not planning on selling to poor people. She's not planning on selling to people that are looking for their next breath. She's going to sell to people that can buy from her that has enough money at their disposal.
Private equity companies. So Alex gave me the idea for Main Street. I know that Main Street businesses are like often cash crunched, right? They don't have a lot of money and they often cannot extract enough value from a lead that I need them to. So Alex would need to find the perfect company to do that, and there's lots of them, or he would build his own, which would be great. I think in my specific instance, I want to go to the people who are already good at extracting the most value humanly possible. So I'd probably try to go to a private equity firm.
And what is a private equity firm?
It's basically a fancy way for saying that people use their own money to buy businesses as opposed to public equity, where people use the stock market's dollars to buy businesses. And so examples would be like, KKR, Carlyle, Cerberus are some of the biggest in the world.
So they go around buying people's businesses with their own money?
That's right. Yeah. They find entrepreneurs right about the point where they cannot take it anymore, and they buy those businesses, and then they grow them hugely. And again, because I'm better at partnerships, I would want to go to them and I would want to say, and what's interesting is I bet all of us are going to be really similar. The money actually doesn't matter. And so
the money actually doesn't matter. Now let's do a very quick recap for those that are seeing. This is Cody Sanchez, and if this is your first time hearing about her or just watching her, let me give you a quick backstory. So this lady is an ex-investment banker that works with Goldman Sachs. For those that don't know, Goldman Sachs is one of the largest financial institutions in the US economy right now, and she builds off her own millions buying businesses, right? She calls them boring businesses that are profitable. But when they gave her this $10,000 and they asked her, okay, how are you able to make a business and scale? She said the money is irrelevant, because what she'll be looking for is people that will be able to buy businesses, right? She already have the skills to analyze a company's report, know when a company is profitable, know the MOAT, right? The margin, the profits, the competitors, everything. Once she understands how a business functions, she already understands how a business functions, so she's going to look for private equity firms that are willing to buy the business and then grow the business and sell for profits. That's what private equity firm does, right? They buy businesses, grow the business, and sell off for profit. So her job now is she'll be like the middleman doing an arbitrage where she sources for deals, looking for businesses that are about to exit the market, they're not willing to take it anymore, they're tired of doing business, they want to find something else, and looking for who will buy them out. So she does the sourcing if she doesn't have any money, and she brings these deals to this big company and they pay her money for it. So again, this is uniquely to her own based on her experience. So you have something that is unique to you based on your experience. What is your area of expertise that you can offer as a service? This is her own area of expertise, and this is what she's willing to offer as a service. Again, you see that even the $10,000 does not count. Just use and buy food in the fridge and keep it. Just use and buy food and keep it in your fridge. Stock up your fridge and just work on this one, right?
Oh, even though I have $10,000, 10x what Alex has, it doesn't actually matter, because what I would do still, $10,000 is not enough for me to make a couple million, which is what I would want to do with this. So what actually is the differentiator? What is the business model I choose? Who do I go to sell it to so that I can get the most value out of it?
So you go
and
to
with
private
these
equity.
PE companies, what I would do is I would go to them, and they're buying companies all the time. And so there's two ways to sell to a PE company, and I'd see which ones I could get them to sign up for. On one hand, there's something called a deal sourcing fee, which is if you can find companies that are in the niche that PE companies want to buy, they will pay you for sourcing the company. And I know this because I pay deal sourcing fees. And so I would go to local private equity companies. You're not going to be able to get to Cerberus or the big guys. So I would go to the ones in my local neighborhood that you could find by searching on AI to say local private equity companies buying these types of companies. I would reach out to the GPs. Those are the general partners of the company, the guys who run it. And I would say, what type of companies are you actively purchasing right now? What's your investment thesis and deal box? And if I could get them to respond to me, great. If not, I'd search, what do private equity companies typically want to buy? What is the deal box or investment thesis of a private equity company? I would find that deal box, and then I'd play the game of door knocking. I'd go to a bunch of these businesses and try to find companies that wanted to sell. And then when they tell me they want to sell, and I have a buyer, which is the private equity company, the private equity equity company will pay me either a percentage of the sale or a flat fee for sourcing it.
What might that look like in terms of a percentage and dollar number?
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a non-institutional player doing this, I think you would go to them and say, can I get like 10K for every company that I source you that's over $1 million in revenue that's profitable and within your deal box? They'd probably say yes. The normal sourcing fee is somewhere between 3 and 5%, but you're not going to get that when you're brand new. So, but I like the idea of making 10K on one deal to start. Then what else am I learning while I'm doing this? I'm also learning simultaneously, how do you buy businesses? What type of businesses? How do you find businesses for sale? I think this is the highest leverage activity I know how to do. Like I know more how to buy a business that's already making money and make it make more money with a higher degree of certainty. Because if it's already profitable, it gets out of the valley of death, which is where a company starts and never actually makes any profit. And so I would start there. And then what would I do for that? Well, the second that they see that I'm good at sourcing deals, they're going to be throwing offers at me. But what I might do instead is go to those GPs and say, hey, I'm pretty good at doing the hardest part of private equity, which is finding the deals. Why don't you guys back me for me to find the deals for you? Maybe they'll invest in my company for me to then run a private equity firm, or maybe they'll say, come work for me. Then I can make a couple $100,000. I can learn what I think is the best skill out there to learn, which is deal making. And I can use my leverage, which is knowing what a company's worth and how to buy it using other people's money in order to increase my earnings. And that's what I would do.
You'd both use the money for personal things, probably just pay your rent or take your
It
partners
doesn't make
out.
a difference
Yeah,
at that
just-
level. And I mean,
No.
even the 100 is close to, I mean, it's more than 10 and 1, but
Yeah. And it's just one idea. I think there's so many things you could do with one.
Yeah.
And
But they're all very
10%.
similar in their fundamentals.
well, you go to find something, like the leverage comes from tapping into existing networks. You find an existing business and either you're selling the business as the product or you're selling the product
Product to
of
the
that
business.
business. Right, exactly. So you're selling either way, and all of it is promotion. You're selling and you're trying to get a percentage of upside. I'm getting a percentage of, because like to Cody's point, a lot of Main Street businesses don't have money, and you're like, cool, pay me on money that I make you. And they're usually very, very generous with money they don't have yet. Same for, a deal that we haven't made yet. I'll give you, a fee for those things. Again, it depends on the timeline. If I have 30 days, then like getting a deal done in 30 days will be tough.
Yep.
But like getting a brick and mortar, it's like probably do that in 48 hours to get somebody to say yes to free money for like no risk and I do all the work. It's an easy offer. So again, I think that's where like the constraints of the initial prompt is like how much money and how much time. If it's a year, it's like all of this changes. If it's 30 days and I have nothing, it's like, well then we'd want to generate as much cash as we can at little time as possible, no risk.
Yeah.
Daniel's about to invest in the S&P 500.
Right, because
He's like, I take your $10,000 and I raise you, yeah.
So I have 100,000.
Okay.
So
he's leaving with it.
this is a dangerous amount of money.
Yeah.
This is the worst case scenario for most people, because if you have 1,000, you know you don't have money. If you have 10,000, okay, you might get a cleaner, you might get an assistant, you might do a few little things with it. The danger of 100,000 is you can kid yourself into thinking that you've got money, and it will make your head spin how fast you can blow through $100,000 if you don't know what you're doing. If you give me a Formula One car and ask what am I going to do with it, I'm going to crash it, right? If I can get it even started in the first place. So I've got to come up with something that the first problem that I have is I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the network, I don't have the reputation. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leverage Cody's.
Now, this man's own idea, it's beautiful. It's brilliant because now he's acknowledging that he doesn't have network, he doesn't have knowledge, but all he has is money. So some people, what they have is money, and they want to make more money, and they know that they don't have time to learn the skill. They don't have network that are willing to buy whatever they are going to sell. So what do they do? What do you do when you are in this situation where all you have is just 1 million naira, where all you have is just 2 million naira or $2,000 or $5,000, and you want to multiply this money? How do you make sure with enough certainty that you can grow this money? So this is what I just want you to listen closely to this. You will not regret listening to this, please. Thank you.
I'm going to go to Cody and I'm going to say, Cody, can I do a deal with you? I would like to start a business. I know you've got lots of ideas that you just don't have time for. I'm going to invest $100,000 as debt for equity for 10%. So I'm going to put 100 grand in and that'll come out of the business at some point, but debt for equity on 10%. And I'm going to do sweat equity for 10% and you keep 80%. And it's your idea and it's your network and it's your reputation, but I'll be the person who's heavily invested in this. And the only condition is that as the business becomes profitable, we can repay the 100 grand. And then once it's repaid the 100 grand, either you buy it or we can sell the business. Now, what I'm doing there is I'm basically acknowledging I don't know what I'm doing. I'm acknowledging I don't have the reputation, I don't have the knowledge. All I have is this 100 grand, and I have a very strong desire or will to be an entrepreneur. Now, what's going to happen is that probably with an hour of Cody's time per month, she's going to be able to say, here's the idea, here's my CFO, talk to my CFO. Here's my head of marketing, talk to my head of marketing. Here's my friend who's actually got even more money and wants to invest. And she's just going to like fire off a few emails, and she's going to love the idea because it's her idea. And I'm going to work hard, right? And what's cool is that when the time comes that business becomes valuable, I've got one buyer on the table. Cody's either going to say, hey, look, I'll buy you out because it's only 20% and now I own the whole thing. Or we go to market and Cody will know someone who can buy the business and I get 20% of the exit. So, but the key here is that just that acknowledgement that it's the knowledge, the network and the reputation that is the valuable bit, and the money is a bit of a red herring.
And you're going to get Cody's skills because you're going to be in her proximity. You're going to get a little bit of her reputation.
At the end of that deal, I will then have knowledge. I'll then have reputation. I'll then have all of those things will have leveled up for me.
You know what else is interesting too? It's really what you're proposing is something that I used to not like, and since think that when you find the right ones, it's really fascinating. Which it's a franchise model. You're essentially saying, which is what you do when you come to a franchise. If you come to Resi Brands, you go, okay, I have $75,000. I don't know anything about window cleaning. I don't know anything about running a business, but I do know that you know how to do it. And I know that you have all these case studies, aka proof of other people just like me that have done it. So I'm actually going to pay you for this business, for the right for you to take a percentage of my ownership forever in perpetuity. But I will teach you how to, or you will teach me how to run the business. And so I think that's actually, I used to think that franchises weren't good for entrepreneurs because I am relatively unemployable and I don't like to be told what to do. But for people that have never run a business before, like what you're saying is like, I'm paying you for the right to learn because you have a proven system that if I use it over time, I have a lower likelihood of failure. Because we know the truth, which is 90% of startups fail. Most startups never make any money. You pay for the right to maybe potentially one day make money. And so I do think stealing other people's homework is real and valuable.
I wanted to ask you all a question, which I have an answer to, so I assumed you would, but maybe you don't.
All right,
which is,
all right.
what is the one?
Can we let that sink in? Can we just let that sink in? All right. So if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling trapped and the last money you have in your account is maybe 500,000 naira. I'm speaking to you personally now. And the last money you have in your account is 500,000 naira. Just look at me. You know that one friend that is in your contact list that is supposedly making money in one business. There's what we call acquaintanceship. Those stuff where these guys, Newi and Onitsha, they go and serve their master so that they can, at the end of a certain period of time, they can have money, one, they can have experience, two, and they will have a shop that will back them up. I don't know if you get, right? They traded their time for skill, for money, and for business because their guy will still settle them, right? So if you're watching this video right now, you're like, how am I going to make money without money? This is it. If you have that one friend that you know that is good in this certain business, and you know that you're not so good in being an entrepreneur or thinking or creating out stuff by yourself, but you don't have that one friend that business has been good for the person, you can decide to partner, collaborate with that friend and say, this is what I'm willing to bring to the table. How much in percentage can you give me to be a partner in your business, right? And this is what I'm willing to work for. So that's what we call sweat equity, where your hard work, the errands you're running for the business, the things you're doing for the business will later convert as ownership in the business. So yes, it's what we call sweat equity. So this is something that you can do. Every one of us have that one friend that is doing well that would like to learn their business. And if you're feeling stuck, now is the best time to reach out to that person and say, make me your errand boy. Make me do this. I'm willing to do this. I want to learn from you so that in the next 2 or 3 years, I'll be able to grow. Mentorship is real. So you guys are sitting on gold mine without realizing how to make it yours. That's what I can say, so.
thing about entrepreneurship, wealth creation, finance, that you think most people undervalue, that you put a disproportionate amount of weight on. So like for me, I can think of a game in business. I think of business as a set of games we're playing. I can think of a particular game in business that I don't think other entrepreneurs understand the value of. And I'm wondering if you all have an answer to that as well. Is there one game in this game of business, one fundamental game that you think most entrepreneurs listening now don't appreciate? And they should, from the entrepreneurs you've worked and invested in and being one yourself.
Well, I think I'll say one that everyone here at the table will agree with, but I think that brand and distribution is still wildly undervalued. I mean, I think that's the reason that all of us decided to get into it, is because at least I saw just the wild discrepancy between the cost of building brand and building distribution versus the value of that distribution. And, the primes, the Lunchleys, some of these insane zero to many billion-dollar case studies, Terramana, Huda Beauty, Proper.
All right. So I think we need to exit here, please. So for those that... All right. So you can always go back and watch this video from the beginning to the end. It's on Diary of a CEO channel, and it's titled The Simple and Proven Ways to Earn $100,000 from Nothing. This is from the money making experts, which is Cody Sanchez, Alex Homozy, Stephen Bartlett, Daniel Presley. And if you find this video encouraging, inspiring, helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more real investment updates. See you in the next video. In the next video, I'm talking about money market accounts and treasury bills, how they are the two machines, the two investment vehicles that can skyrocket your portfolio. Make sure to subscribe. Bye. Crystal Kiss.